lot of similar characteristics of the students, and then because of that, they're smart in graduate education. I think the most important is really not to teach them to memorize things. It might be more important to have a conversation, interactions in the classroom, so could encourage critical thinking and analytical thinking. In other way, really challenge who they are, what is the social status quo in the society, and how you think about how you interpret that, how you're able to get the knowledge and information you need. So think about this as a starting point of lifelong learning. So we're not really give you, this is a textbook, memorize, and you're done. This is a continuing education. This is only the starting point as a profession. So I don't quite care how much they can memorize. So I do very little test, which is as a format of the exam. So choose A, B, and C, multiple choice. Oftentimes do this kind of writing as a paper that might be more appropriate assignment. So I do feel students take the time, take the 2 years time, and really critically thinking about the society, about themselves, about the group of people they work with. And they know how to learn continually after they graduate from here. So that is some kind of approaches. I also want to be somebody can inspire them a little bit. And I started my first job as in the San Francisco State University. It's a public university. A lot of first generation college students not really know how to, the different system within the university. And oftentimes, they actually see me as a role model. I was a little bit embarrassed at the very beginning. But they actually seeing simply you yourself as an immigrant speak English with accent, but you're able to teach them, you're able to make here, give them the motivation to continue to learn, to be academically successful, and serve the people of that as well. So I guess simply being myself, presenting myself in the classroom is a way of motivating them, and also meanwhile, I mean, there's a critique of the college professors. They're so liberal, and my comment is, if you learn those conservatives, you don't need to be in the program set. So we give them a little bit aspiration to say what is positive change you want to see in your personal life, your professional life, and in the future of the society. Sometimes the reality is kind of cold. I'm sorry. The reality is cold. And as a social worker, you probably overburned. You get burned out after 5 years. And you see, I was working for the domestic violence survivors. The first 1 year was really frustrated because you see all the terrible pictures of the child being beaten, wife, and disability as a result of domestic violence. And you wonder how come people can be so cold and treat this is their family members. This is the reality. And social worker will work with vulnerable people, and some of their situations very desperately need people to help them. And you yourself need to be personally strong enough. And meanwhile, once you see this kind of thing long enough, you might also end up with some kind of the negative thing. Where's the future? Because you keep working with the people and still the similar people come to your office every day, every year. Might not be married, but next time might be some other similar women as well. But you need, so that means, I mean, being in the field, you need to keep certain kind of optimistic view of the future change, and you also need to know how to make the change happen. So that might be something I want to be, simply being a teacher. In addition to the knowledge I covered, that topic covered in the classroom. But I want to do that, but what I can do that, I don't really know. I try my best.
That's true. Since we are in the disaster,
we saw
a lot of cruel pictures.
You saw a lot of bad things happening as a result of disaster. And you talk about natural disaster. There's also human disaster. There is also economic disaster. One of my students actually trying to look at it, economic disaster in Detroit because the auto industry things going on. So there's many type of disasters here, and which many times is a negative aspect of life and society. But how you are keep working and still makes a commitment to work with them, that actually need you to have some sort of the one support resiliency, the other one, yourself, you can be open and be optimistic of the future change.
Yeah. For me, we are in the social work, and our class.
You're in the social. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Dora
Dora is
in
part
the
of the social work.
Yeah, we are kind of in the social. We're kind of in the social work program. Yeah, but we are a separate program. Most of the class like the social work class, and I remember specifically one class is called the refugees migration and the internal displaced people. And my last question is that could you please my personal questions. Could you please talk about the social welfare laws and policies on the refugee and the internal displaced?
This is too big. Basically, easy answer for refugee is there's a two type of the refugee. One is really the arrangement between the U.S. government and the UNHCR. So they make the arrangement of resettle certain numbers of refugees from the refugee camps to be here. Usually they will receive the 6 months package. That means offer housing, healthcare, some kind of screening at the very beginning. And after 6 months to 12 months, depends on which state you stay, you on your own. But that's often not enough. Refugee people, refugee families having a hard time after 12 months. But there's also other group of people can be considered as a refugee, but it's not. They probably be the asylum seekers. Asylum seekers, they file their application to stay here as a result of the possible prosecution and oppression in their country of origin. So it depends. This is a case-by-case situation. Their situation, they won't receive any kind of the formal package for the because they're not really refugees. But if they being granted to stay here, they can apply some kind of help for the poor families. That's other type of things. It's pretty complicated issue. Cannot really answer you well. I have a course of immigrant refugee in the U.S. This is whole course. I think that one will be offered in the summer, but I'm not teaching that in summer. But the course will be offered in the summer.
The course is called
I think it's called Social Work with Immigrant Refugees in the U.S.
Oh.
That's offered in the summer. Yeah.
Okay, that's basics of all the things I want to ask.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Happy to.